back again here for K-State Online. It is Matt Hall with Grant Flanders after Kansas survives, knocks off K-State 73-72 here in Allen Fieldhouse. An awfully entertaining game to be at. I want to ask you questions for this one because I sat up high today. You were down here on the floor. Overall impression, we'll start with that. Again, K-State falls down 11 at one point in the second half, battles back. Just your thoughts on K-State's performance here in Lawrence today.
Yeah, I was happy with the performance. I had a lot of fun on the floor taking pictures, but first half, it seemed like they were able to crawl their way back a few times. Even in the first half, they got down and they were able to crawl their way back. It seemed as the big three, I'll call them now without Cam Stokes out there, played really well in the first half. In Stokes and Wade, and then Brown, he struggled scoring, but showed some signs of good stuff elsewhere. And then other guys didn't really step up until the second half. Cartier-Jara had an incredible second half.
He did.
And I'm pleased with how K-State played. And overall impressions, I think K-State played one of their better games against this KU team. And I think you still can be excited about this team.
Yeah, let's talk more about Cartier-Jara in particular. He had 2 points at halftime. I just wrote in our story, I don't think he was playing poorly, but he wasn't really a factor at that point. And my gosh, he had 16 in the second half. 2 finishes in the basket right below us, had a three-pointer right there, another 3 from the top of the key behind us at the end of the shot clock. Just what was your response watching him, and what could you see from the benches in the crowd when Cartier-Jara was having that stretch in the second half where he was seemingly scoring every possession?
Well, he's been doing it. He did it last game as well. Just great stuff from him, filling in for Cam Stokes. Bruce said it himself. He's been putting up great numbers these past 2 games starting, better numbers than Cam has scoring the basketball. And it's shown on the court, and he's doing great stuff. He can attack the ball, he can attack the basket, and he's shooting way better than anyone ever expected this season. And it's all helped this team compete with Kansas, and they just come up short.
And I think something you'll hear us try to avoid talking about that you don't want to hear is K-State. This was not a moral victory. K-State lost this game. It's the Big 12 loss. Whether you lose by 1 or by 50, it's a loss. So us talking about them playing well is not to suggest that it was good enough or that they did enough today in this one. But that doesn't mean they didn't do positive things we can't talk about. A couple more guys I want to ask you questions about. Dean Wade gets 22 and 6 today. Hit shots from all over the floor. He really struggled when it got in the paint against Azubuike for sure. But he had a really good game for K-State again.
Well, he's just one of those amazing players that Kansas is smart. They doubled him sometimes, but he's one of the best passers on the team. So it's hard to double him because he finds open guys. So Kansas sometimes had to not double him, and Dean made them pay. It's why he's the best player on this team, and he's showed it. And Azubuike gave him troubles down low, but Dean showed that he's got the mid-range game, he's got the 3 game, and I think everything was working for Dean Wade today, and that helped in keeping a close game against this tough Jayhawks team.
2 more K-State players I want to ask about, then we'll kind of flip the script a little bit. One would be Xavier Sneed, another game where he leads K-State rebounds. He had 7 today. K-State beat KU on the boards today. 7 boards. I think he finished with 14 points. He hit 2 free throws, in the last 40 seconds to put K-State ahead. He's played really well back-to-back outings for K-State.
Huge. The rebound category. It's been something that we've talked about. We need to see him do more than just score the basketball, and that's what he's done. He's finally filled in for Wes Iwundu, a guy that exceeded rebounding the basketball last season. He stepped into that role, and now he's rebounding really well. And you love to see that. And, of course, his defense has stepped up too. And I like what I've seen from X. You need it when Cam is out. And it's great stuff from him,
The last player for K-State I'll ask about would be Barry Brown. Not great numbers shooting the ball today, but very valuable defensively. I think he played 38 or 39 minutes. He came out for an extremely brief period tonight. Of course, he missed a shot that, to me, felt like it hung in the air for 15 seconds, and this place went dead quiet for a second when that thing was in the air. But I know people are going to criticize Barry because of that shot and not scoring. But I thought for as much as he handled the ball and as much pressure as she had to put on him defensively, I thought he did a lot of good things today.
You have to guard the best player on this KU team, the best shooter in Devontae Graham. And, that's always a tough task. But Barry Brown, one of the better defenders, I think he held his own pretty well. And I like what I saw from Barry Brown. Scoring the basketball, he struggled a little bit, but he never loses confidence, so he still puts up shots, and he hits some. So I like what I saw from Barry. He didn't maybe make the right pass. He said in postgame he should have passed the ball to Dean Wade at the end. He made the mistake, but, in the moment it's tough. You looked up at the clock, saw 2 seconds, and he had to make a play. So
when it left his hands, did you think it was good?
I
did.
Praying.
I'll tell you right now.
I was praying.
But I did. I just felt like the way things went in the second half, when it left his hands, I thought it was good.
Well, it was, and from my vantage point too, sitting basically right on the baseline, kind of tell it wasn't, but I could definitely tell seeing up there that
from
it
way
was a
up
tough
there,
call.
Felt great, But to flip the script and give KU players some credit, a few guys who had big games. Obviously, Devontae Graham led all scorers today with 23 points on only 12 shots. Got to the line 10 times, made 9 free throws. Played 36 minutes despite having 4 fouls, so really battled the foul trouble really well.
Yeah.
He's a great player, senior, preseason Big 12 Player of the Year, and without Devontae Graham, Kansas doesn't get this win today.
No, they don't get many wins all season, and
right.
I think he's going to show that he's one of the best scorers in the Big 12 and in the NCAA, and he's shown that before, and now he's just going to continue to do that for this KU team, and I like what I saw from him today, and he's gonna continue that.
I thought Azubuike was really good.
Yep.
18 points, 8 boards. I don't know how many blocks. The stats didn't say. I feel like he had 17. That's not true, but he was a big factor. I think if I was going to criticize anything K-State did today, I remember saying, up there with the media, I thought every time he got the ball into the hoop, he should have been fouled and put on the free throw line. And I didn't like the idea of doubling him. I think if there's a thing I was going to be critical of, I would have played him differently. But either way, he was a big factor today.
Azubuike is a big guy down low, and what he was able to do. His presence, 18 points, probably his best outing scoring the basketball in the Big 12 so far.
Right.
And so good stuff from him. I really liked what I saw there.
2 more guys to mention for them that were huge factors today, giant factors. Svi Mikhailuk hits 2 threes at the end of the first half to cut a 6-point deficit to a tie going into halftime. And then in the second half, LaGerald Vick hit 2 threes on consecutive possessions at a time where K-State stretched lead out to 3 multiple times. So we'll talk a lot about Graham and about Azubuike, but without Mikhailuk and Vick again today, any one of those shots misses, Kansas is in trouble.
That's what this team does. They shoot threes well. Yeah, we already talked about Graham, and then Vick and Svi. Svi looked like he was on today, and he was confident, and he was shooting the ball really well. And Vick showed really good confidence near the end of the game, hitting big shots. So KU's a tough team. Got great shooters, and they showed up, and it was just enough to knock off the Wildcats.
So moving forward, go ahead.
Well, I do want to bring up too. Silvio De Souza, he
correct.
Yeah, he
made his debut today.
Made his debut today.
Yep, no Billy Preston though.
Yep.
To the angst of many people in this building, I'm sure. Moving forward, K-State now 2-3 in the league. Again, if you looked at the schedule at the start of the season, you'd have thought, with the lineup they'd played, 2-3 might be good for them right now. They're in a terribly hard stretch right now. You come home though next week and you play 2 in a row. You get Oklahoma and Trae Young, a top 10 team in the Sooners in Manhattan, and then you get TCU, another ranked team in Manhattan. Again, K-State can't walk away from today and just be happy they played it close. What do you think K-State needs to accomplish in those 2 home games to feel good about themselves?
Got to win at least one.
Right.
I would say they're 2-3 now. You don't want to drop too far below 500. You got to keep yourself there. And I will say that I'd say probably do it against Oklahoma. You're at home against Trae Young. Try to shut him down, get the crowd going. But that's what I would do against Oklahoma. Shut down Trae Young. I mean, if we're talking about a guy that's been able to score the basketball. Right? I know, it's tough to do. Even when you shut him down, he still ends up with 25 points plus. So it's hard to shut this guy down.
Last question for you again. That you were in postgame while I was doing some writing. Do you get the sense it's heartbreak? The game had ended minutes ago, so I don't expect them to be moving forward. But do you think this team is in a good middle mindset to go forward and try to get 2 at home next week against OU and TCU?
Without a doubt. They came into a hostile environment here in Allen Fieldhouse. Fell just short. K-State hasn't won here in a while, so it's just getting that close to beating your rival in Kansas today, I think, is a good sign. Without Cam Stokes, Cartier-Shaw is stepping up, showing that he's one of the better players on this team. Easily was the best bench player. Yeah, I mean, he is a solid player, and I think you have to be excited about the future, because when Cam went out, that's what our main concern was. Who's going to step up? And Cartier showed that he can do that, and I think that's exciting.
I lied. Last question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for Kansas to visit Ramlage in a couple weeks for Big Monday?
Last year they lost by 1 point as well, or 2 points. Yep, on the Svi Mikhailuk travel. And then they went and beat K-State by 4 points, I think, in Bramlage. And I think the script will be flipped this season.
Answer my question. Scale 1 to 10. How excited?
Oh, super excited. 10.
Super excited.
because I really think K-State can beat them in Bramlage. I think KU has declined from last season, and it's showed here today on the court in a close game for K-State without Cam Stokes. And I think it's going to continue when they come to Bramlage. What about you?
Oh, awfully excited. I think, 9.876. I mean, I don't ever give a 10, but to Kansas credit, they moved to 4-1 in the league today.
Yeah.
They are the 13-time defending Big 12 champions. So as much as K-State fans or K-State can say, boy, we had every chance to beat them today, and they're right. Kansas wins these games and is, champion for the reason. K-State has a chance, though, in 2 weeks to knock them off and get some revenge. So for Grant Flanders, I am Matt Hall for K-State Online. We're leaving you from Allen Fieldhouse. If you have a chance at the end of this, tell your friends.